Good morning, everyone. Well, there's a few people this afternoon or not, but this is the July meeting of the general meeting for koha-US. Hope everybody's having a great summer. And we've got a few less people today, so I'm guessing we've got lots of people on vacation right now. So let's just jump in and get going. So as Jason mentioned, the agenda is in the link to the agenda is in the chat. So you can pull that up. Starting with announcements, we have our conference in 2 short months away. So registration is open and the schedule is up, and the link, you can go to koha-US.org and /conferences 2021 to see all the information that we have up there. We've got information on at least one of the hotels. Do we have both of the hotels now yet, or just
Ed hasn't passed that information along yet. He did give us a link. If you scroll down, and there's Ed, he'll probably have more information. If you scroll down on that page, I put the link in the chat. There's now a section with a big button that says visitor information, and Visit McKinney created a website centered on our conference as well. So they're also updating information there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so there's lots of information there. Encourage people to join us at the conference. It's a great time to make connections, to brainstorm, to get ideas, to make connections that you can then use throughout the rest of the year and the years to come. Texas, of course, is a great place to visit. So we've got 3 of us here. So, and also, since it's after July 1 now, the half-year membership is open, which the half-year membership, you just pay for half of the cost of a regular membership, which I can't remember what that is off the top of my head.
$12.50.
$12.50. Okay. And that would actually save you money on the registration of the conference. To become a member, you get enough of a discount on the conference that you would be ahead to get a membership. And then you have the privileges of voting and all the other wonderful things that you can do. Any other? Yes, Lizette.
How much is the conference registration?
So it's listed at the top of that conference page. If you're a member, it's $35. If you're not a member, but you want to become a member at the time of registration, it's $47.50. As Rhonda said, that'll save you some money if you become a member at the time of registration. If you don't want to become a member, then you're not invited. No, it's $55. And then we have a special rate for the hosting institution. So if you're at McKinney and you're part of the crew helping us out, then there's a different rate there. But those are the 3 core rates: $35 for members, $47.50 for non-members joining, and $55 for non-members not joining.
Thank you, Lizette, for that question. And then, yes, we do have the tentative schedule. We've got 2 tracks at the conference. So there's options for the first 2 days. And then the second 2 days, are workshop days, which are super great times for you to ask questions, to get, work with people, learn different things. We've got a couple of SQL and jQuery sessions where you can, if you don't know anything about that, you can join that, or and then our SIG discussion group. So people that are actually at the conference that are members of SIG, of the different SIGs, can come meet together there too. So I encourage you to stay for all 4 days. It's It's a really great way to get plugged into the Koha community. Yeah, it's a good deal.
One thing I didn't mention also, if you're only planning to attend online, you can't come in person, we do still want you to register. There's no cost to registering as an online attendee, but we would like to have your information so that we know that you were there and you participated. So please still register even if you don't know that you're going to make it in person.
Yes. Okay.
Are the workshops going to be available online?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I'd love to be there, but I can't.
Okay. By workshop, let me qualify that. Some of the workshops will be available online. I'm not sure that all of them will be. That would be a little trickier. The presentations will all be available online.
The issue with the workshops is we've got multiple rooms here at the library that we're using for those, and depending on how the workshops fall out will depend on which, whether we can stream them or not.
Yeah, I
Makes
remember. Oh, absolutely. Several of them in Pueblo, I think it was Pueblo. We're just basically sitting around the table chatting, and that'd be kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone have any other announcements beside our exciting conference coming up? Oh, shoot. Don't forget to get your swag for the conference as well. I got my t-shirt, but I left it at home. So there's t-shirts and masks, and I don't know what else.
Whatever. I didn't turn on the skateboards or the shower curtains, but if somebody wants the design on one of those things, I'm happy to accommodate. But generally we have t-shirts, bags, cups, mugs, notebooks, stickers, magnets. So check out the shop. If there's something not there that you want to try and buy, I will definitely look into the settings for you.
Okay. If there are no other announcements.
Just a fast one, Rhonda.
Okay.
Half-year membership is officially open. And for those that were here for the conference registration pricing, if you join as a non-member, that was $47.50. Effectively, you're getting the membership rate for the conference. The additional $12.50 is what goes towards your membership. So if you are not currently a member and are interested in joining koha-US but cannot attend the conference physically, you're welcome to go ahead and join as a half-year member following the links on our website.
Thanks, John. All right. If there are there any other announcements? If not, we will move on. Development update. We can cover that now, or we can do it in the committee reports. Which would you prefer? Barbara.
Do you want demonstration instance or development from the agenda?
I did not get demonstration instance on the agenda, but Barbara,
Let's
you can
do
talk about
demonstration.
whatever you would like.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
demonstration instance.
I may be looking at the wrong agenda. I don't know. Anyway, so yes, the demonstration SIG committee, whatever we are, has been meeting, and we're plugging along and creating a demo, a Koha demo, and we've got Elasticsearch enabled. We are checking with Bywater about the possibility of getting a customized OPAC for the different libraries we've set up. So we've got a public type library, a medical library, and a school library, I think. And so we thought it would be valuable to see if we could get a customized OPAC for those different types. And that would be a good way of showing off how you can have just different focuses for different types of libraries. We're not really going to demo the demo site at the conference, but that was our deadline, sort of, because we needed to give ourselves a date to get motivated. But we'll talk about it during the general meeting, let people know that it exists. The committee talked about, asking at the conference, like, what do members really need from this demonstration site? Let me look through my notes here. We are intending to create a general user so that people could log in, but not necessarily change system preferences or, the look of the site, but could use the site. That's pretty much what I see in my notes, unless anybody else has anything to add.
Okay. Oh, excited to see what you have at the conference. And anybody that's developing a presentation that would use the conference, I guess, Barbara, they would contact you. And if they wanted to use it.
Sure.
To, like, if you're recording a presentation or something like that, and you don't want to use your live data, patron information, that kind of stuff. That's what this demo site is for. One of the many things that we have it for. Okay, then we'll just wait with the developments updates for the committee reports. So mentorship.
So I'll jump in there.
Okay.
So we had talked about last month about ways we could kind of boost our mentorship program. Mentorship is a perk of membership. So whenever you sign up and register as a member, you get the choice to be a mentor or get a mentor. The education committee discussed it, and kind of our relaunch of it, I guess, is going to be a Google group for the purpose of mentorship. So I'm working on establishing that, where we're going to put all the mentors and the mentees in the group together, and it'll be a closed group that you can gain access to as a member. And I want to try and get it rolling where the mentors will respond in the group and kind of talk about their areas of expertise, what they know, what they can do, how they can help, and just create like a forum basically for mentees to be comfortable in asking questions, knowing that they're not burdening anyone with a question. And so the mentors can kind of answer questions or guide them to answers, that sort of thing. I had wanted to get that done before today's meeting. It hasn't happened, but I do plan to have it done sooner than later. So if you're a mentee or a mentor, you should see it, and you should be invited to the group and see some messages flying through related to that. If you are a member and you haven't signed up to be a mentor or a mentee, but are interested in it, well, the boat hasn't left the harbor yet, and it never will really. So we're flexible on that. If you want to be added to the group, just let info@koha-US know, or education, and any of us can help you out there and get you added. So this is just kind of a forewarning of things to come in regards to mentorship. And we do want to try and make it sort of more of a worthwhile perk to your membership. In the past, we'd like connected people. So this is kind of our filling in the gaps here. Yeah. And we haven't really discussed like moving forward, but I would guess that we'll kind of refresh the mentors group every year. So once membership expires, yeah, George said mentorship 2.0. And we do want to try and facilitate conversations. And this is just kind of the beginning of the process, and one more way to do that. So yeah, that's where we're at with mentorship at this point. And if you have other ideas or things you want to add to our mentorship program, that's fine. Again, if you're not a mentor but you want to dive in, please let us know. If you're not a mentee but you've decided you do want to be part of this group and you're a member, then let us know that too.
Okay. Super. Okay. Comments or questions about that? Okay. Then we will move on to the committee reports. So conference committee is up first. We will be meeting immediately after this meeting to plan more about the conference. As we mentioned earlier, the registration is open, and the tentative agenda is available too, because I know some cities require an agenda before they'll approve people going to a conference. So that's up there. And we already discussed the fees or the registration fee. And if you go to the koha-US.org/conference 2021, you'll find out there's a whole bunch of information there about, where to stay and things to do while you're there. There being McKinney, Texas. So join us in Texas in September. It will be wonderful. And it seems like there was one other thing I was going to mention, and I can't think of it.
Ed, one question that came up before you popped in was, is there more information about the second hotel yet? Do you know anything?
The Sheraton does have 10 rooms. We were just dealing with paperwork and I hadn't sent it to you yet. But yeah, they can use the Sheraton. Those are the only hotels that actually have rooms blocked for us. The Visit McKinney page has a lot of other information about places to stay as well. They even mentioned things that the city doesn't like mentioned. They went rogue and created their own website.
Okay.
Lots of fun.
Okay.
And I popped that link in the chat for anybody that wants to look. It does have a lot of great information if you're planning to visit.
Does it list brothels and where to buy crack and stuff like that?
I don't think so, but you can look.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, I'm looking right now. I've opened it up, so.
Okay. Any questions about the conference? That we can try to answer. Okay. Then we will move on to the development committee. Ms. Barbara.
So the committee, we put out the voting form for the proposed koha-US sponsored development. The bug number is 12029, and it's patron message deletion in the OPAC. And so the intent of the bug was to allow patrons to be able to delete messages that were sent to them rather than having to always go back to a staff member and asking them to remove the message. There were 17 total votes. There were 10 for and 7 against. We're working with a new development company and vendor named Auto Parallel Technologies. They're out of Austin. So we're working with a gentleman from that company. He is supposed to send us a contract. And have you seen anything, Rhonda or Jason?
Nope.
So
I have. I got the.
You
He sent me the contract. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we did say that we'll need John to look at it. So I guess you look at it, and if you have concerns.
A quick review showed nothing that should cause us concern. I need to give it a more thorough review. He sent it late on Friday. I took Monday off, and this is a bad week for me, so I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. But he did send me the contract, and I am not expecting to see anything based on my quick review. I'm not expecting to see anything that would prevent me from signing it and moving forward with that.
Okay, that sounds great. Glad to know that he did send it.
Barbara,
Yes.
really quickly, what was the bug number again?
12029.
Got it. Thank you.
And some things we learned, I think, during the process were that we didn't have really a place on the form that someone could enter a comment about the bug. And George, you had a comment, and that was very valuable to get your input on that, because in future things that we put out, we may want to, it's valuable to know how this will affect multiple different libraries. We all use things in different ways, and we don't want to make something harder for another library. We did talk to Auto Parallel about whether this could be something that could be toggled on or off. That wasn't really part of the original work spec that they put out. I'm hoping, George, in your case, that you'll have some jQuery that will remove it so that it doesn't affect you poorly.
My issue with the development was we have, since we have multiple branches, there are some branches that are going to want patrons to be able to delete their messages, and some branches that are not going to want patrons to be able to delete OPAC messages. And so for us, it would be ideal if there was a way to turn this on or off with a system preference. So.
And we explained to him, since this is his first development, that things like that may become stoppers. And that sort of discussion takes place in the bug tracker. So I would say once it gets rolling, you would definitely add that in, and maybe he'll be able to work it in
Yes.
the process too.
Yeah, I think it'd be valuable to have that comment in. There's not really much in that bug. We had 3 bugs submitted, or 3 development proposals submitted. One was really kind of out of scope of what koha-US could really do, sort of both the scope of the work and the amount that it would take. So we were looking at 2 different bugs. And because we were interested in seeing if there was a way to expand the pool of developers we could be using, Auto Parallel basically, was able to provide a work spec for this particular bug. And that's sort of the reason we went this route. And I think that's pretty much everything on that. Jason or Rhonda, you have anything to add?
I have one additional comment to add based on my preliminary review of the contract. The total amount for this development is as priced $4,000, but they are willing to contribute $2,000 in kind to that, making our total cost just $2,000, with the understanding that this goes through the proper open source deployment and is not made available in some sort of proprietary format, which of course is something that just happens organically as anything developed through the process.
And he did, Ivan did mention setting up like an initial kickoff meeting that we would have the development committee, probably maybe, I think we mentioned, we gave him George's email and Christopher's email, because Christopher was the one who submitted the bug, just to be in on that first initial discussion to kick off the bug once we get the contract all set.
So that we have a real understanding of what functionality we're really looking for.
Okay. Any other questions for the development committee? Okay. I think I saw that Heather is trapped in another meeting. Actually going to have to log off. Okay. Oh, okay. So Heather, Education Committee, Heather is the chair. So the big thing that she direct messaged me, the big thing I wanted to report is that due to staffing changes at work, I'm not going to be able to continue chairing the Education Committee. And so another chair will be needed. And she's still going to chair the cataloging SIG. So anyone interested in chairing the Education Committee can put their...
It's George. She's the other person from the Education Committee that's here.
Okay.
I'm on the committee too.
Fred's on the committee too.
Let me talk to, if
did
no one
George
else wants to
totally?
do it.
Yeah, George totally left the building.
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Let me talk to Heather and we'll see.
Okay.
We do have a meeting next week, so we can talk about it there as well.
If you want to, if you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, he's back. Okay. So does anybody else on the Education Committee have anything to report from their last meeting?
Just the regular stuff. I mean, we did spend some extra time on mentorship. George shared some resources that he had found, so we're gonna try and implement some of that as well. I think at least review it. As far as like guidance for mentors, expectations, that sort of thing. And then the regular stuff. We talked about videos, the every other Thursday videos. Again, if you have a topic you want to be a star and join George on screen with Christopher, I think they'll accept you. And then we talked about reference sheets, creating resources, curating resources. That's kind of our deal. So we would welcome anybody and everybody, because everything is touching education. So our meetings are always like the third Wednesday of the month at the same time slot.
Okay. All right. So, any questions for the Education Committee? If not, we will move on to finance. John.
Things have been pretty quiet, as would be expected, with most of the full year membership over and work with the conference and its related income and expenses not really having taken off yet. We have a total of 43 full year members. And although there are a few outstanding full year membership invoices, those were actually generated in January. So I don't expect that those will actually pan out. Financially, we still continue to do well. The last of the money for the Run Sign Up event, the Spring into Fitness, has made it into our account. So we no longer have any income in arrears, if you will, no encumbered income that we had not yet received. And the bank account is looking pretty good, but does not yet reflect the $2,000. That actually won't be encumbered. It'll just be paid when we receive an invoice, because that, of course, is money that would be coming from the organization's discretionary funds. As mentioned earlier, full year membership is over. Anybody that joins now will join as a half-year member, and that includes anybody that joins as a result of registering for the conference and indicating that they would like to join, at which point I reach out to them in a separate process to get them everything they need to join as a half-year member. We've actually had one person already join in the half-year rate, and she actually joined on the first day, and I think that was just really coincidence, but it happened. There's one other person that has registered for the conference in person as a non-member joining, and that happened not more than maybe a day ago. So I will be in contact with that person as well. We talked about the release of the final amount of funds from Run Sign Up. They hold back a slight percentage of the money in case people cancel their registrations. Then there's a period of effectively 1 month in which they wait for all of that residual activity to clear up. That month has passed, and we did receive that last bit of income from them. The Run Sign Up event netted koha-US a total of $1,790, all of which is expected to go into the organization's discretionary funds when that amount is calculated at the end of the calendar year. Activity will begin to pick up. In fact, we'll be talking about some of the purchases that will be made in support of the conference at the conference committee meeting, but the report will be a little bit more interesting and a little bit more active, especially in September and October. Next month's report will include a summary and analysis of the second quarter of our fiscal year. So that is coming up in August. And that's really it from the Finance Committee. Are there any questions?
Can you clarify for me, in the bottom, in the paragraph, it says we received a total of $1,790, but then in the income section on the first page, it's $1,079. Is that just a fluke?
It's not it represents the fact that we received one donation in April that covered a whole bunch of the registrations.
Okay.
And that's why. And even if you added 1790 and 9150, you would get what that amount was. If you want, I can look it up really fast.
Oh, that's okay.
When we opened up registration and had our account with Run Sign Up finalized, we didn't get all of the money in May. We did receive a pretty substantial portion of it in April, right when registration had opened. And there were 3 in May that represented continual signups, but those weren't all of them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anything else? That's it from the Finance Committee.
Okay. All right. Thanks, John. And the final committee is the Fundraising Committee, which we don't have a chair for right now, and we haven't done anything.
I don't think they have a chair, and I don't think they've met in months and months and months.
Yeah. So no report from them. Anyone here want to be the chair? Yeah. Okay, so that gets us through the main part of the agenda. Now we have open discussion. So does anybody have anything that they want to bring up to the group?
So there's a bug that I've noticed recently is affecting us. Until a recent update, I think it was in one of the security updates we got fairly recently, we If we merged patrons that had patron attributes, then the patrons would end up with multiple values of the same attribute. Like, we have like a newsletter attribute that's just like a yes or no, and then we can run a report on the everyone who has the yes and get the emails. So if it in the past, it would merge and give you two, which is like not ideal, but wasn't a huge deal for us. And there had been a bug report about it, and 21648 patron merge duplicates patron attributes. Oh, that didn't copy for some reason. Thank you, George. My copy paste doesn't want to work today. And there was a patch that will prevent data corruption that's on bug 28217, but it means that if we have patron attributes that we didn't set as repeatable, when we set up patron attributes before patron merging was even an option, that came in 1805, now we can't merge patrons that have any attributes. We have to delete attributes on one patron, which since we don't currently have any set to required, like through the system preference, that's not a problem, but it is a problem for some branches. And we do have a number of patron attributes we're planning on setting as required after a meeting we have where we just need to figure out some stuff.
What was that second bug number?
That is 28217, and that was pushed in 200512, which I think we're on now, because I've noticed that we can't merge patrons anymore. As long as, you know, they were filled out how we've been telling people to fill them out. So that's fun. We haven't really figured out a workaround for it yet, though I was gonna put in a ticket later to ask Bywater if they could set those as repeatable until there's a real fix for that, because what ideally we'd have happen is it would ask which attributes you wanted to keep, or if it was the same, because a lot of them are in drop downs, it would just keep one instance if they're the same attribute. But you can't set attributes as repeatable after they're created, so we can't even go in and change them to repeatable. So that's where we are. But we might have to rebuild our patron attributes anyway for another thing we want to work on. So we might just set any new ones as repeatable and go that way. But
so you don't have a bug reported yet for solving this problem?
Well, but the first one,
right,
they're still discussing the 12029. Oh, okay. No, that was you. Sorry. The 21648. Yeah. That one, they put the patch on a different bug because Christopher, who reported the original bug, was not happy with the patch because it wasn't I guess Andrew reported it. But the patch was just for making things basically to make it not mergeable if there's multiple attributes that aren't repeatable, any attributes that aren't repeatable on both accounts. So.
Okay. I don't think we merge patrons very often. We probably haven't run into that one.
That's because you've only got one.
We've only got one.
It's only one library, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of our merges are like someone who had a card at Lewiston or Clarkston, 3 years ago that hasn't been purged from the system and doesn't realize it's the same database.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the most recent one, someone had self-registered and spelled their last name wrong. So when the staff looked them up when they came in to get their card, they didn't have one. So then they reported. I had seen that the same issue once, but I hadn't really had time to look into it. And then they tried to fix it yesterday and got that error. And I was like, okay, that wasn't just, a one-time thing that was weird. So.
Okay. Any other comments on Lizette's or any other things you want to talk about, bugs, issues?
Well, I don't I don't know if this is a bug or well, I started delving into trying to do inventory, and I'm getting some very strange results. Jason says I'm doing the inventory part right. So I don't know if it's a bug or the way that I put in the cataloging data, but I seem to be getting 3 different sets of results with 3 different ways of trying to put a collection together. So
I assume you mean you're using the inventory tool that's built into Koha, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have too many reference books that we can put into circulating collection. So I'm trying it with a different collection, and I don't really know what's going on, which happens a lot with me in Koha. Today, in about 3 hours, I'm addressing a group of pharmacy residents how to do Medline searching, but after that, I may have some more time. So next month, I may have something interesting to say. Okay, may have something to say.
Lizette mentioned somebody making a typo, typing in their own name, which I can totally see that. That's not anywhere near being outside the realm of possibilities. Christopher started working on some jQuery that would allow you, if you have a 2D barcode scanner, to scan the back of somebody's driver's license, which has embedded in it, in that PDF 417 barcode, it has the name, address, and a whole bunch of other information. But he started working on some jQuery that would extract that data and copy and paste it right into the form, the add patron form in Koha. And I've been working on it myself since I've seen his code and have been monkeying around with it. But there are some issues. It seems to be very barcode scanner dependent, because he gets one set of results with the barcode scanner he's using. And we're applying for a grant to buy barcode scanners for all of our libraries with this ARPA grant money that's available. And so we're putting together a grant to propose to buy 2 barcode scanners for each of the 52 libraries we have. And so I bought a whole pile of different 2D barcode scanners to test. And I get a different result with this data with each different scanner. So we're working on that, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes and what happens, and see if we can make it, set it up in such a manner that can be barcode scanner independent, that it won't matter which barcode scanner you have. So I thought I'd throw that out there since Lizette mentioned somebody typing in their own name incorrectly.
You've probably thought of this already, but could it be the way the barcodes are initially set up? Is the barcode scanners I have, like that, just plain ordinary ones. Yep. Some of them you have to configure to use, let's say EAN or code 3 of 9 or whatever.
Yeah, the driver's license barcodes, there's a set of standards that all of the states use to set up those barcodes on the back of the driver's license. And I've got like 10 printed out test samples, and I can scan the back of my own driver's license with each of the 3 different scanners and get 3 different results right out of the box. And a lot of it depends on how the scanner transmits data to the computer. Some of them, each keystroke is logged as a separate event. So it's not like scanning one bit of data. It's like, if you've got like 50 characters in the barcode, it's like scanning 50 different individual characters. And that seems to be one of the issues. One of the barcode scanners I bought is made by a company called Terra, and it's a $58 barcode scanner, but the documentation is the $58 documentation, and the setup program is the $58 setup program, whereas the symbol and the data logic are $150 scanners, but they each have an app that you load onto your computer that you can program the app to configure the barcode scanner, instead of like with the old 1300G or the 1800, where you have to scan barcodes to program. You can actually just plug it into the computer and have the app configure it. And once you find a configuration that works, you can save that in a file and then program like 100 of them just by plugging them in and uploading the same program to all of the different scanners. So I think it's a matter of figuring out what works for each scanner, and hopefully we can find a way to make, like I said, to make it scanner independent to get this plugin to work. But right now, we're not there yet, and a lot of it has to do with the way that the way that Firefox and Chrome work as well. With one of the scanners, it doesn't matter how I program it. When it reads the data into the field, it sends a Control-J character, which opens the download window in Firefox and Chrome. And I haven't figured out a way to prevent it from reading those characters from the barcode. So there's a lot of different issues, and we're working on it, but we're trying to figure it out. So that's something fun that you might see in a video like next year sometime. I doubt we'll have it ready by September, but it's something we're both kind of working on independently. That's the thing, in addition to the speed of how quick it is to scan a barcode, and then you get the name, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code, all that stuff is embedded in the barcode on your driver's license. And so it speeds up the process really quickly. But for me, even more important is the fact of how consistent it is. You can't make a typo. If you make a typo when you're scanning somebody's barcode, I mean, that's not possible to get that data. The only way you're going to get bad data from the barcode on a driver's license is if the data is entered incorrectly at the DMV. So there would be a huge amount of consistency with that. So that's what I'm really hoping to get out of it. So.
That sounds really cool. I know our staff have asked about that ability a number of times, to be able to just scan the back of the driver's license.
Yeah, and Kyle had started working on a plugin, but he didn't get very far. Bywater has a plugin for driver's license scanning on their GitHub page, but it doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't even remotely begin to start working. It's a very rudimentary, it's a very bare bones start, but yeah, it should be. It's something that it's how the TSA gets your data when they scan when you get on an airplane, when you're verifying your ID. It's the same formatted data on driver's licenses, and I think it's the same format on passports and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, that was a question I had. Until we have this one ID, aren't states each state driver's license is a little different until everybody has these new IDs.
The real ID.
Yeah, the real ID.
I first noticed the barcodes on the back of driver's licenses maybe in about 2005 in Idaho is when they started adding them there. And all of the states are using ostensibly the same standard, and the fields are coded the same way. And there are a lot of sample barcodes out there that you can download.
Okay. I'd looked at a couple of different versions of Texas license and got different data just in a plain old scan. And that was why I was wondering.
Yeah, and I think the standards are changing slightly over time. There's a slightly older standard where the first name, last name, middle name are all in the same field. And they were recently separated into 3 separate fields. And so there are some minor changes like that, but I think there's a current standard. And I was able to work out a way to get both versions where the last name and full name where the names are separated and not separated. I was able to write enough jQuery to work around that so that either way you got the data.
Cool.
So it's a process, and Christopher and I are both learning how to do it and what's going on. His barcode scanner, he's getting better results than me, but he's also been working at it a little longer than I have. I spent a lot of time on it last week because I had to make a decision which one of these scanners to recommend purchase in the grant. So I would say, on the one hand, no, I'm not going to be able to find it. The cheaper scanner would not be ideal for this whole for it's not what I recommended for purchase for this grant money, but it's TerraScan and it's the HW0008, I think. It's a good barcode scanner if you're looking to buy a barcode. If you want a cheap, reliable wireless barcode scanner, this is a good product for that. But I wouldn't buy it, for all around circulation use. When I was still at Latah County Library and I was looking to update scanners there, that was the business manager there said, we should get wireless scanners. I said, God, no, that's the worst idea imaginable because you got 3 circulation computers and it's going to take like 2 minutes for the scanner from this computer to end up over here and the scanner from this computer to end up over here and the scanner from this computer to end up like in the bathroom or somewhere else. It'd be a terrible idea for staff working at public use at public stations. But if you need something, if you need a barcode scanner to be wireless, the Terra HW0008 seems to be a good, reliable, inexpensive scanner if anybody needs a wireless scanner. So,
and speaking of wireless scanners, I would highly recommend you get Bluetooth instead of one that depends on a proprietary dongle, because somewhere in this house there is a dongle that matches up with the barcode scanner. I don't know where it is. It still works, but for wireless scanning, but only for, let's say, inventory, where you have to connect it to a cable and then download.
Yeah, I've got 4 or 5 different dongles laying around. I thought they were on my desk here. I've only got 2 of them in this desk, but I've got more at home. The Terra scanner does 3 different, it has options. It does not have an app that you can load onto the computer to program it. It has the booklet where you have to scan barcodes to program it, but you can choose to use the dongle that comes with it, or there's Bluetooth, or there's even a Wi-Fi option. So it's got multiple different ways to connect wirelessly.
And a lot of the Bluetooth ones also come with a charging cable that can be used to plug in directly to the computer as a wired scanner.
Yeah,
if
that,
you need
that
to.
I can find, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yes,
that's what we have one that we use also for inventory and special projects and stuff. That's just it's like $70 on Amazon wireless scanner. And sometimes we just like if it's not charged, you can just plug it in and use it on
Yeah.
the cart still.
Yeah, and the one I have, my Bluetooth Netum, just uses a standard old style USB cable, the early ones with the big connector. So if I lose one cable, I can find another.
I guess the one I bought is the 002. So, and I
What's
put
your primo pick, George? Like, what's the good one?
the one I'm gonna get is the Zebra. It's this one. This is the one I'm going to recommend because it's the one currently that I can get to work most consistently with the driver's license jQuery that we're building. In its model DS4308 by Zebra. The Data Logic Quick Scan, which is the QD2430, is the one that sends control characters that from the PDF 44317 barcodes that completely mess up Firefox and Chrome. So, and that I can't figure out how to turn off. So.
Okay. We have like 2 minutes left in our hour. So does anybody else have a quick comment or question?
Well, I've got another comment about barcode scanners.
Okay.
The wireless one that I lost the dongle for, I'm using for inventory. I can scan barcodes and then dump them into a notepad file, but all the numbers begin with A and end with B. That's probably a configuration problem. It's easy enough to take out.
Yeah, it's notice editing, I think. That's what it's called. I have to turn that off sometimes.
Yes, of course. I can't find the instruction book, and
yeah, I usually have to Google it and then dig through shady PDF sites and finally find the barcode that I need.
Yes.
The only thing they sent with the DS4308 is the quick start guide. And then in order to actually, this is the manual for the Data Logic one. I printed it out so I would be able to scan it all. And, it comes with like a 5-page get you started manual. And if you want to actually do any programming, there's the instructions are like 250 pages. So I'm sure you'd be able to find the manual for your scanner somewhere, Fred.
Yeah, and I think this is based on 2 scanners that the the barcodes for download data and then clear are standard.
Could be.
If you find that out, I'd love to know. The world awaits your results.
Okay, we are at 11:30. So we will call this meeting immediate. For the people that are staying for the conference committee meeting, just stay in this Zoom room and we will continue with the conference committee next. So for those of you that are heading out, see you later. And
bye. See you later.
Right. See ya.